Hi, Patrick. My name's Yutaka. I'm with the Horror Hour. How are you?
Nice to meet you, man. I'm doing good.
So let's talk about this show because yeah, it got me messed up. So congrats. Like, I wasn't sure where we were going in each episode, so I'd like to know how was the transition from doing film to a TV series with this character?
It was pretty seamless, I would say. I mean, one of the big considerations that we had to take when we were making shorter form versions of, the stories exploring this character was the fact that we couldn't take our time as much as we did with Creep and Creep 2.
Hmm.
I think there's longer, more awkward silences in both of those movies. There's a lot more jump scares in those movies. I think we realized that, with the form of TV or short films, I consider them more short films than I do like episodes of TV, because
I'd agree.
they are tapes that are, in this closet that this guy's creating and logging for himself. But it was sort of this realization that we had to sort of have the stories move a little quicker, and so that's something we're still sort of uh, finding the nuance in, I think. And if we get
Hmm.
the chance to, do a second season or explore more, I think that's something we want to try to stretch and play with a little bit.
I mean, I'm gonna manifest a season two because
Hell yeah.
like I'm not gonna spoil anything because I've seen the finale. But
Oh,
what
cool.
can you say to kind of give fans like what they're coming into with this finale? Because I'll give you my take is that it was batshit insane and I loved
Uh,
it.
oh, good.
Oh no, it
Yeah,
was.
we did have a moment after we shot it where we were like, I think this is what our audiences want, but also maybe not. I don't know, and I'm very excited to see people's reaction, obviously. But I think it came back to that same conclusion that we came to when we decided to make a sequel even to the first movie, which
Mhm.
was it's different because we have an audience now that like enjoys these films and has like a personal connection to them and cares about this character and cares about what they're saying, but also, and so we are considering that, and like, but not like feeling like we need to fully cater to that at the same time, like at the end of the day, it's what makes me and Mark happy and what gets us excited. And usually what gets us excited happens to be stuff like what ends up in the finale. So
Oh my
um yeah.
God. I love that. I
Yeah.
mean, I was hooked when I saw the trailer for the series because I was like, when it was announced, I'm like, how are they going to pull this off? And something I got to also give kudos to Mark is just his performance. It is always so captivating that I love looking on social media because the girls and the gays, we love them. Like point blank, we're like, we can fix them. Like, no, you
Yeah, yeah.
can't. But that's us. Um, so like, how is it just giving him any like? Does he do any improv or anything when he's doing these scenes?
Well, the girls and the gays are going to be satisfied by some certain elements of episode 6 as well,
Oh
by the way.
yes.
But I think he is such a great performer and is just kind of just unbelievable in how he's able to inhabit this character. And so for me, in my role, there's a lot of observation and sort of just like being there for him. I mean, sometimes there's adjustments, like if it's been a long time since we've shot an episode and we're trying to like dip back into the character. But other than that, I think like a lot of the way we do this is, I wouldn't call it improv because we definitely script a lot of the scenes out. Uh,
Okay.
but we usually script them out like right before we shoot them, and so it
Oh my
it ends
God.
up being a lot of like writing on the spot and making adjustments on the spot, because for the most part these episodes are shot in continuity, which like normally with film you have to go all
Yeah.
over the place because of
Mhm.
locations or whatever, and we have the benefit because we are such a small unit that we get to sort of like be a little more on our toes.
Oh, I
And
like that.
so, there is improvisation, but it's not like the traditional there's not a lot of like ums and ahs that happen in the
Sure.
show. You know what I mean? That like
Of
you'd see in like
course.
a mumblecore movie or something. It's pretty mapped out for the most part, but it's just like immediate, I would say.
Okay. And I think you had mentioned as well before, factor in trying to do these jump scares to where I guess again in an episodic format, so it still feels fresh and will still catch us
Hmm.
off guard, which you got me twice, and I was pissed each time because they were great. So how is it like trying to make sure you capture that?
It's one of those things where we're kind of having to be our own critic, and our own sort of uh barometer for what's scary or not on
Okay.
set. I mean, we don't, I mean, the other thing that's crazy that we'll probably have to uh do differently at some point is when we watch playback, we're watching playback on the tiny screen that's on the actual camera that, and we're still shooting on the same camera that we shot the first
That's
movie
so
with.
cool.
So times when we blow it up, there'll be stuff in the frame that we didn't realize that was there. But um, because we do it that way, it allows us to sort of be, like I said, be on our toes and like make adjustments if we need. But some of it is interesting because like a lot, like a jump scare, a lot of it has to do with timing, and when we're trying to do it within the same shot, it ends up becoming without cuts. I mean, it ends up being so just kind of a instinctual thing where we're just trying to kind of
Okay.
feel it out. And between me and Mark and Chris Donlin, who's the editor of all the episodes and our producer,
Oh,
it's us just trying to um, be honest with ourselves as to whether something's working for us or not, and sort of put our as much as we can put our heads in the place of the audience.
okay. I mean, again, it worked. And also, I have to say, because some of the guest stars you got, I thought was just incredible. So, at least one of my favorite episodes was with Josh Rubin, and the way those two played off each other.
Yeah,
I mean, again, seeing since you shot that in continuity, and again, you kind of the script comes together, the day before. I wonder what
yeah,
was that like in terms of that ending, though, because that was
yeah,
that
yeah. I
was
mean,
so loved it.
Josh is amazing. I mean, he was a big fan of the movies, actually. I mean, he's such a prince when it comes to his love of horror and
Hmm.
just being such a like outspoken supporter and embracing everything. And like, so I knew he was a big fan of the movies. And I also knew he was extremely talented, not just as a director, but also as an actor too. So it just made total sense, to have him in this world, and he instantaneously was in the groove. There was no like notes or anything. Like he understood the assignment from the
I love
get-go,
that.
and so it was just a very very smooth, easy process working with him on that. And you know sort of figuring out how the two of them would play off each other as actors, but then also the physicality of some of it too, like the last sequence that you were mentioning, and sort of like the murder and stuff like that. Really trying to like nail down the timing of a lot of that. There's maybe a hidden cut or two in there, but one thing we did in that final scene where, spoiler alert, Josh's character is murdered off screen.
Yeah.
During that moment where he's being murdered, he's actually, and this is on my Instagram stories from this episode. He's actually in the bathroom applying the blood himself to Mark's face. So when when you're when you're acting in these, you're also having to serve as your own makeup artist and makeup artist for others at the same time. And so that's just something you're signing up for. And he was totally down, thank God.
That's amazing. I'm gonna have to go check that out because I
Yeah.
love seeing stuff like that. Something else again, should we again manifesting a season two, there's just a wealth of stories that you can obviously take this in. I'd be curious as just where is somewhere else you want to go with Mark's character or Peach Fuzz.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, I mean, there's a few things that we've talked about. I mean, a big thing is, I think there was an epiphany with especially episode 2 of the show where we're out in this like dark or this weird expanse of landscape, and so like the idea of really pushing ourselves, showing him in different environments and with different kinds of people. I think that's something that's really exciting to us if we do
Hmm.
get to make more of these that we want to try to explore. Um,
That was
and then,
sinister, by the way.
oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, no,
It
it's
was
so it's sinister, but
unsettling.
it's also very goofy. Like we were shooting that, like especially the sequence where he takes his car and drives it away, and they're yelling at each other. Uh, it felt like a Looney Tunes episode or something at times. But like, and that was another moment where we're like, I think this is what people want, but also whatever, it's making us happy. And I mean, because we're trying to unsettle you, but we're definitely trying to make you laugh. Like, of course we
Hmm.
are. That's a huge part of the show, right? Is that, is the comedy of it. And hopefully folks are cool with the fact that we really sort of doubled down on that with the show, because that's the thing that sort of excites us the most about it. And like finding humor in this character and in the discomfort of these situations. So that's what we're looking for basically, is trying to find different ways to make you uncomfortable.
I mean, well, that's again, that's why I also love the show or the character too, because you're lulled into this, oh my gosh, I'm laughing so much. And then it takes that twist, and you're just like, oh, if we don't get a series, I hope for another movie because I need more of this.
We'll do
But
something. We'll do something. We'll figure it out.
but Patrick, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I really appreciate it. And kudos on the show. And you have a really great rest of your day, man.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.